I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back, guys. Guys, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. The streaming service I'm using just had a big issue with my connection, so I had to go back and start over again. So I'm sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back to answer you guys' questions. I'm back to answer you guys' questions. You guys have any questions regarding aircraft maintenance engineering? I am here to answer your questions, guys. I am here. My apologies for what happened. The streaming service I'm using, for some weird reason, they crashed on me, so I had to restart over again. So yeah, Rick 515 123. Yeah, like I was talking about, right? For me personally, I like Airbus. I'm an Airbus guy. Like my whole career, I've been like I started off in aviation working for a company that was doing heavy maintenance for Airbus. So I worked on Airbus 220, 320s, 319s, 321s. So I've always been an Airbus guy, and that's why I feel like Airbus is more maintenance friendly. And I think it's for both avionics and maintenance. So I mean, and also for opportunity wise too, I would say there's more opportunity for Boeing, especially the 737. A lot of people have those aircraft, but for maintenance friendly, I definitely go with Airbus, man. Even pilots, I feel like pilots love Airbus more, man. You know. So yeah, if you guys have any question regarding aircraft maintenance engineering, I am here to answer your question. Any questions regarding aircraft maintenance engineering? And guys, I created a new Instagram. Instagram, guys. I created a new Instagram. I am going to put it in the comment section. This is where I'm going to be posting more for. This is where I'm going to be posting more for aircraft maintenance. So I'm trying to separate my personal Instagram from my content. So this is my new Instagram. It's called Peter Janet underscore YT. That's underscore YouTube. So I put YT. So you guys follow me, man. Give me a follow. Have any personal questions, ideas, or videos you want me to make? Uh, just let me know. I created this new Instagram. Just so I can have an other page for content because my personal Instagram is more of my personal one, right? So I want to have a page whereby I can interact with people also, and probably in the future I want to start going live on that Instagram too. So yeah. Rick 5123 says how much is important a strong capacity of troubleshooting in the field of aircraft maintenance engineering? I think manuscript comes with years and with more important in our elastic. So yeah, when it comes to troubleshooting, like it's not something you're gonna build like in a year or in 6 months. It's something that you would definitely build over time. And how do you build troubleshooting problems, right? Aircraft tends, especially new aircraft, they tend to have a common issue, right? The same problem, the same aircraft. So the more you get more familiarized with the common issue, it becomes more easy to troubleshoot, right? And once you start working with the type of aircraft, it's gonna be way more easy to understand the aircraft. It's going to be way more easy to troubleshoot because you have more familiarity with the aircraft. So when it comes to troubleshooting, it's definitely something you're gonna build with experience, and it's not something that is gonna come with like a year experience or 6 month experience. Because you're always gonna be learning something new problems every day, and that's the fun thing about maintenance, man. That's something I like about maintenance because there is no a situation whereby you're bored, because today you're doing something, next day you're doing something else. And that's one of the things I didn't really like about when I was in because I started my career in the manufacturing route. So I was working for a company that was manufacturing aircraft, but I felt like it was just I was doing the same thing every day. But when I came to the maintenance field, like it's new problems, new situation, new task card every day. So for troubleshooting, it's definitely, of course, sometimes you having a significant smart skills, it helps a lot, but it's something you're gonna beat over time. It's not just 1 year, 6 month skills you're gonna beat. It's something you're gonna build with experience and also with time. So we got another question. Does maintenance helicopter counts towards M1 or M2 of logbook? So for helicopters, it counts towards M1. And also it depends on the aircraft you're working with too, right? But for the most part, I believe M1 helicopters counts towards M1 license, counts towards your M1 license. And I know there are some M2 helicopters. Let me just check right now. I believe there are some M2 helicopters, but I'm pretty sure most of the helicopters are M1 licensed. Most of the helicopters are M1 license. So let me just check right now. I believe there's some type of uh so yeah, I have not seen. I know there are some helicopters that are M2, but for the most part, majority of them are M1 license. So if you go to helicopters, you're definitely gonna be most of the helicopters you're gonna be working on is M1 license. But helicopters is a really good field, man. Like I told people, if you're looking for a department whereby, let's say you're a single guy with no family, and you're looking for a department whereby will give you a lot of travel privilege, a lot of experience, you're going to be working a lot of time independently. Helicopters is the way to go, man. You're going to have a lot of adventures with helicopters. The reason why I didn't go with helicopters was, for me, I didn't want to be far away from the city. That's what the reason why I didn't go with helicopters. But I have a couple friends of mine. They make a lot of money with helicopters. There's a lot of opportunity, especially up north. You're gonna be far away from home. You're probably gonna be doing a lot of rescuing tasks. So whereby an helicopters go to a different location and you have to rescue the helicopter, right? So yeah, helicopters is a good one, man. It's a really good one. I would definitely recommend it, 100%. And also our cultural background in math and physics, electrical powers, the capacity to understand EWIs and AME, AMM, and schemes on the sorry other schemes useful to perform our task. It's crucial to grow up. So yeah, so you having a type of electrical background, the AMM, it's a combination of everything, right? It's not something that is just one. um okay, if you're gifted with, with electrical skills, it's a combination of the AMM, the flight, the fault isolating manual. So you have a bunch of stuff that can help you out with troubleshooting, right? And like I said, troubleshooting is something you're going to build over time. It's not something you're going to just have in like a year. You know what I mean? The more you work with a specific type of aircraft, the more you familiarize yourself with the specific type of defect, the more you understand the aircraft. You know what I mean? And troubleshooting, it's a skills you're going to build over time. Over time. So we got one question. Which has more demand and most paying airframe and power plants or avionics? As for 2025, and this is for 2025, and from my experience, AMP, which is the maintenance, right? Actually, not AMP because in America it's a combination of everything. But in Canada, M license, which is the maintenance license, has more experience, more opportunity, more demand, and also more pay. And the reason because is as an M guy, you will have the authorization to sign a maintenance release, right? Yes, there is job opportunity for avionics, and I feel like in the future, it's either the government, which is Transport Canada, they're going to combine both licenses together, and that's something I have. That's a feeling I have, right? They're going to combine the license together, because that's what Americans are doing right now. Americans, they have what's it called? They have the combination. of M1 and M2. That's why they call it AMP. So airframe and power plants, right? And I feel like it's something the government are going to do, Transport Canada is going to do in the future. So that way they can kind of balance the scarcity of AME, right? But as for 2025, in terms of demand, M license definitely has more. In terms of pay, there's more opportunities for M. But do not disregard the opportunities for avionics. And that's why I tell people, if you're trying to choose a category in maintenance, choose the one you have, you think you're gonna like more, and choose your strength. When I was in school, I was never good at electrical. Anything electrical, I didn't like it. I was never really a big fan of it. But I went for maintenance because I felt like that was my strength. I understood mechanical part more. You know what I mean? So if your strength is avionics, regardless of the opportunity, the pay, it's something you can always work towards, build more experience on aircraft, and you can still make good money from it. So if you're going to choose a category and you're not sure, look at your strength. Are you good at electrical part of it? Are you good at troubleshooting? If those are the answers, then definitely avionics. But if you're good with more with like working with your hands, every task card, like anything mechanical, definitely maintenance. Definitely maintenance. Guys, I do offer free consultation whereby you can book a call with me. My Instagram, I'm going to put it in the comment section again, and you can book a call with me and we can talk about how I can help you out, right? And I also created a new Instagram account. It's called Peter Janet at underscore YT. This is more of the aircraft maintenance Instagram, because I have my own personal Instagram and I don't really post nothing about maintenance. I feel like I should create a new Instagram whereby I'm going to be talking more about maintenance. So guys, please, if you can follow, and guys, I'm here to answer your questions, man. You guys are my priority. Whenever I answer you guys questions, man, you guys don't know how much happiness I feel answering you guys questions. You know, beyond the road. Hey Peter, what's going on, man? How are you? I'm doing great, man. How are you? I hope everything is okay, bro. Rick 5123, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you always coming up on live, man. I really appreciate your support, man. And this give me joy, man. I don't know how. I wish you guys can feel the amount of joy in me right now whenever I answer you guys questions, man. I started off this channel with nothing, and look at it. We got 8 people here. Like you guys could have been doing something different, but like you're here to ask to listen to me talk, which is is deeply, I'm really really happy, man. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me the question, please feel free. And if you guys have any suggestion or videos I should make, right now I cannot make a day in my life videos, and that is because I'm on a course right now. I am doing the 787 course, and it's a 2 months course. So once I'm done with that course, I'm gonna have more time to make more of those a day in my life videos. But as for now, please, you guys bear with me, man. I'm trying to be more creative, in terms of the videos I make. So I appreciate all the support, though. I really appreciate it, man. You guys are my priority. It's my priority to answer you guys' questions. Hey, Hush Poppy, man, it was really nice seeing you the other day, man. I really appreciate it, man. You always come through. I appreciate you, brother. It was nice catching up with you the other day, man. I really, really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it, man. So we got one question. So even avionics technicians have their own maintenance license? Yes. So for avionics technician is called E license. So for maintenance, it's called M. And for M, we have two categories. We have the M1 and we have the M2. So M1 is more for smaller aircraft, most especially piston aircraft. And M2 license is for turbine engine aircraft. So avionics, they just have one license, which is the E license. And it's also a structural license, which is the S license. And both all licenses are good, man. There's a lot of opportunity with both license. You can either get the S license, E license, or M license. But as for 2025, in terms of opportunity wise, I would say the M license has more. There is more opportunity with the M license. But when choosing the category, please choose where you feel like it's your strength. Choose what you like doing, because maintenance, AME, it's a career, it's a long-term career for most of us. I see myself doing this in the long term, and that is because it's something I like. I don't see how AI is going to replace it. There's always going to be demand for, as far people are flying, there's always going to be a demand for maintenance. So whenever you choose a category, you want to choose something you like doing, so that way you can enjoy it in the long run. you know and eventually, man, it does not matter what category you choose. Trust me, there's money to make in other categories too. Every category is have money. S license, man, there's a lot of contracts for S license. you know as an S license guy, you can make $60 an hour. Like, I have guys working for manufacturing companies, as a contractor, they're making crazy money. E-license too, there's a lot of opportunity, man. It's all about where you work, the location, the time. Like, I'm telling you, all categories have money. You can make good money from all categories. So whenever you're choosing a category, please choose something that you feel like you can do in the long run. And if you need help with someone to advise you on how to choose a category, guys, I do offer free consultation. All you got to do is text me on Instagram, and we can set it up. We can set it up. You guys are my priority. I'm here to answer you guys' questions. And the more I answer you guys' questions, the more I feel joyful and actually feel like, I'm impacting the world. I'm creating value. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys for always coming up, man. What's going on, bro? How are you? So yes, in Europe, the license of avionics is B2, for example. So yeah, European license, I feel like they have all different type of. They have the B1 and B2. I don't think it's a combination like I know it's only the Americans that have the combination of E and M license, and that's why they call them technicians. They call themselves AMP technicians. And surprisingly, this course is actually a degree program in most countries. Like my country, Nigeria, this course is actually a degree program. In a lot of African countries, a lot of European countries, this is actually a degree program. It's mostly in North America. This is more like a diploma program. The JJo, hey, what's going on, man? How are you? Do you have any other passions beside aviation? Yes, I do. For you guys don't know, I actually do dance. I dance salsa. I'm really invested in the Hispanic community. I really like the culture, the dance, the food, because I feel like, especially Cuba, right? I feel like there's a strong connections between Hispanics and Africans. And it's weird. It's hard to explain. It's really, really hard to explain. Especially when I listen to the salsa music, there's a lot of similarities in the wordings, the way they say things, like with my country, you know. So I do a lot of salsa dancing on my days off. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do clubbing. So for me, it's like I have to be creative with what I do. I also do a lot of hiking. I do a lot of hiking. I do a lot of salsa dancing, hiking. I travel too. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen my Instagram. Maybe you follow me, man. I travel, so we all got to keep ourselves busy. And one other passion I have is YouTube. YouTube, coming live like this, making videos for you guys, man. You guys don't know how much passionate I am making this YouTube video. So that's why I do have free consultation. I try to answer you guys' questions to my best knowledge. You know. So what is the license of avionics in the US? So in avionics, like I said, in the US, they have the combination. So they don't have the license separately. It's called AMP technician, AMP license. Once you have your AMP, you have both the M license and the E license. It's a combination. It's in other countries that they kind of categorize the license to like MES license. But in America, it's just one license, AMP. And once you have that AMP, you have it for life. You don't have to renew AMP. Nope. You got your AMP once, you get it for life. You get it once, you get it for life. So we got one questions. getting started in the getting started in aviation field video, I would like to know the different way to become an avionics technician from the easiest. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna make that video. I'm gonna write that down. Um, I have my notepad here. So if you guys have any ideas of videos, topic you want me to talk about, so I can make videos regarding. So I'm gonna write that down right now. So you said getting started in the aviation field video. You want me to talk about, you want to know the different ways of becoming an aviation mechanic, different ways become aviation mechanic from easiest to hardest. Yeah, I guarantee you by next week you're gonna have that. I'm gonna have that video on YouTube. I'm gonna work on the video, all right? So yeah, if you guys have videos ideas of you want me to talk about, I'm always here, man. I need ideas too. Because right now I can't make a lot of those a day in my live videos because I'm actually on a course right now. So I need ideas and topic. I want to focus on what you guys want more, not what I want. I want to focus on what you guys want so I can create more value to you guys. All right. So I'm gonna work on this video this week. I'm gonna work on that video this week and I will try and get it done this week. All right. So we got one question. What is the hardest course in the aircraft maintenance technician course for someone with zero mechanical background? When I was in school, for me, the hardest course was what was it? My first year, I remember this clearly. The hardest one was called Fury of Fury of Flight. And the reason why it was hard for me was because I told you guys, right? I never had any type of background, in mechanical. I never saw an aircraft. I never knew how aircraft worked. And this course was focused more on I believe, the aerodynamic. So it was talking more about how aircraft, get its thrust, sorry, how aircraft, create lift, drag, all those, the science part of how aircraft fly, right? So for me, it was, I never had any type of background with aircraft. The first time I saw aircraft in my life was when I flew to Canada, so I never really had a basic understanding of how aircraft worked. So that was why it was kind of hard for me to understand, and it took a long time to understand. But someone with zero mechanical background, like I told you guys, man, there's a lot of people that started this career path with zero background, and I'm one of them. I started with no background, no, like literally all my family members, my dad, my uncle, my mom, my brothers, my sister, none of them are in aviation, right? And if I can do it, trust me, you guys can do it. Don't worry about your zero background and mechanical. Like, it's not gonna be easy. Nothing's gonna be easy, but trust me, it is possible. And the way to the way to move forward is by, first of all, putting yourself around people that have the same goal, right? So in class, you're going to find a lot of people that, like, man, when I was in school, I like using my personal story because this is something I actually went through, right? I had to figure out myself. When I was in school, I had friends that came as international students, right? We came from the same country, and those guys were just messing around, wasting time, doing nothing. You know what I mean? But because I filter the people that when they didn't have no goal in life, I put myself around people that had the same goal. Me having no type of mechanical background, me having no type of aviation background or family member in aviation, helped me and that is how I figure it out, by putting myself around people that had the same goal. Because when I had questions, when I had problems, those were the people I was meeting and they were helping me out. You know what I mean? So don't worry about your mechanical background. And even back then, there was no one making videos like this. There was no YouTube channel, and that is why I'm here, guys. I'm here to. So if you guys have any personal questions, please feel free. This is someone that I've gone through the same experience, all the trials and tribulations. Like, I've been through everything, so I definitely understand where you guys are coming from, and also the obstacles you can go through. and also how to overcome them, because I personally went through those experiences. You know what I mean? So when it comes to someone with no mechanical background, I understand where you're coming from. I was in the same situation, but the best way to figure it out is number one, you gotta focus in school. It's not gonna be easy because a lot of these people, a lot of guys that you're going to be in class with, a lot of them are going to have some type of either auto background, or their parents were in aviation, their parents were pilots, their parents were even aircraft maintenance engineering. So they had a little bit of idea, right? But if you're that type of person who does not have any family member or any type of experience in aviation or mechanical in general, you got to make sure you're going to put a lot of work more. It's not going to be easy, you know what I mean? But trust me, it is possible. You know, first you got to stay focused, surround yourself with people that have the same mindset, try to pass your classes, and with experience, don't put too much pressure on you, because with experience, that's when you're going to start learning more. That's when you're going to start figuring out stuff. Like the things I know about aircraft right now, if you asked me 8 years ago, like I had zero idea of most of them. I had zero idea, but with experience, with patience, putting myself around people who had the same goal, and that is how I build the skills I have right now. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, man, regarding aircraft maintenance engineering, guys, I want to be the guy that help you out, because I have been through the same situation, so I understand how to pass through those problems, how to overcome these problems. All right. So please, guys, and it's all free. Like I'm not charging no one here. You know, it's all free. Please, whenever you guys have questions, always feel free to ask me. Trust me, I do love. If you ask anyone that have asked me questions, I do love doing this thing. Like I do love doing it. Like it's for my heart. You know what I mean? And the more I help you guys out, the more I feel fulfilled. The more I feel like I'm helping a little bit of the world, and I'm creating value to the world. All right. So please, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. We can schedule a call, consultation, everything. I'm always ready to help you guys out. All right. So we got one more question. We got another question. So all engineers, airframe, power plants, avionics have to sign off before the aircraft takes. So when it comes to signing, right, it does not matter if you're avionics technician. It does not matter if you're structure, whatever job you do, you have to sign the job. You have to sign the task card. You have to sign the task card you do. But when it comes to the overall maintenance done, the overall maintenance release, it's only an M licensed person that can sign it, right? And that is why M license have a little bit of more responsibility, because you overlook the whole maintenance done, regardless of if it's regardless of if it's M license, regardless of if it's S license, you overlook the whole maintenance, so you have the authorization to sign the maintenance release as soon as you get your ACA for your type course for that aircraft. But regardless, when it comes to signing, everyone has the obligation to sign whatever tax you do, and you're responsible for whatever tax you do. So we got one question: say aerodynamic, electrical power, data bus, avionics law, the fuel system for me was the most fascinating and complex. Yeah, so and that is another, yeah, that was another thing I actually went through. Like I never, first of all, avionics, I didn't really like avionics when I was in school. So in my first year we had to do avionics, we had to do some electrical part. Luckily, some of the avionics were calculation, like calculations of resistance, voltage, frequency, and no, those stuff I did them in high school in Nigeria. We did all those stuff, so that kind of really helped me out a lot. But when it came to the particle side of it, so I remember clearly we had to create like I forgot what they call it. Is it like a clipboard or something? Something about solid state, right? We had to create something, and I did terrible. I did terrible, and from there I knew, yeah, I'm not doing avionics. Avionics is not for me. You know what I mean? But yeah, those could be stuff that are really really hard in school, man. So we got one question: Is degree necessary in most? Is degree necessary more better in aircraft maintenance engineering? So it depends on what country you are from, right? In North America, so Canada, America, I don't know about Mexico, but this is not actually a degree program. Yes, it's not a degree program. I don't know why they don't categorize it as a degree program, but it's more of a diploma. So you don't have to go to university to become an aircraft maintenance engineer in Canada and also in America. But outside North America, so in Asia, European, in Europe, sorry, Africa, this is a degree program, right? And you got to go to university for 4 years and you have to get a degree. So if you're like outside North America, yes, it is necessary to get your degree. But in Canada, there are two ways you can become an aircraft maintenance engineer. The first way is by going to school, which is a 2 year program. After going to school, you do your apprenticeship for 2 years and 6 months. Once you're done with your 2 years and 6 months, you write your license exam, you pass your exam, you get your license. The other way is by working as an apprentice for 4 years, right? So if you're lucky enough and you get an apprenticeship, it does not matter if it's M1, M2, you get an apprenticeship, you work as an apprentice for 4 years, you write instead of so yeah, once you if you do your apprenticeship for 4 years, instead of writing one exam, you have to write four exams, which is airframe, power plant, generals, and cars. Right? You got to write four exams. And when it comes to me advising people, I always tell people to go through the school route. The reason why is, first of all, a lot of companies like people that go to school that have a educational background, right? And secondly, when it comes to getting your license, it's just way more easy, man. Like writing that cars exam, I'm telling you, when I did my exam, I studied for a month. That's it. And I'm telling you guys, I believe I got like 85%. And I studied for 1 month. Like even that 1 month, I didn't really go too crazy. Like I studied for a month and I passed with flying colors. And there's a high rate of people passing. So you going to that school route, man, it's gonna save you a lot of time writing the exam. And if you does do your apprenticeship, yes, you do an apprenticeship, you're going to build a lot of experience, which is going to help you out a lot. But when it comes to getting your license, you have to write four exams. And I'm telling you guys, man, that four exams, it's not that easy. Like it's really, really, really hard. Like it's really hard. A lot of people that did the exams, man, they told me, man, Peter, a lot of them failed. Like they failed the exam a couple times. And speaking of exams, guys, my website is almost done. I don't know if I told you guys. I believe I told you guys the last stream. I'm currently working on the website whereby it's going to have a lot of practice questions, like literally. So I'm gonna have four modules. I'm gonna have airframe. I'm gonna have power plants. I have standards, and I have cars. So out of those four modules, you're gonna have at least 250 questions per module. Yeah, I believe 250 questions. So, and this is it's gonna be a really good way for you guys to practice for your exams, to practice to see how the exams is being set in real life. And I base the exam based on my experience because I wrote the cars exam, so I know how it is, and I kind of made the same way. And I spoke to people that have done the exams too recently, and we kind of put a lot of ideas, and I created these little website. It's going to be free. You guys don't have to pay for nothing. It's all going to be free. But once it's done, I'm going to definitely announce it on Instagram, on YouTube, sorry. And so you guys can have access to it. All you got to do is sign up for it once it's done. All right. And so we got one question. Said Europe only for the mechanical stuff. We have some different base of type of aircraft engine. Reciprocally, reciprocally, oh look, reciprocating engines, turbine engines, and then helicopters. Guys, my English is not the best, man. I was never good in English, bro. So I am sorry if I'm pronouncing that was embarrassment. But it's all good, man. But yeah, there are different type of engines, man. There are turbines engine, piston engines. I'm not gonna try and pronounce that engine because I don't. How do I will pronounce this here? Reciprocating engines. Yeah, reciprocating engines. So yeah, that was actually funny. But yeah, there are different type of engines you work on. Yeah, you work on everything. Turbine, reciprocating engines, helicopters. That was funny. It is not necessary, but you can help to grow up. It is not necessary, but you can help you to grow up in that industry into the role of major responsibilities, such as maintenance director or project manager. But yeah, man, you being an aircraft maintenance engineer is you're not limited, and that's something I really love about maintenance, right? You're not limited to just you being a maintenance guys. I tell you guys, my manager, my team lead, my previous manager, my previous team lead, even the maintenance directors were all maintenance aircraft maintenance engineers. They all started as an aircraft maintenance engineer. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. So the previous one of not the previous job, the previous job I was working at, the first job I ever got as a maintenance guy, the maintenance director told us a story, right? And he told us how he got the the job as a maintenance director of that company, right? And he started as an apprentice in the company. He did his time. He got his license. When he got his license, he worked as a license there as a license guy for like 5, 6, 7 years. And he told us, and that was like 1993. And he told us during that time they had like the company went bankrupt, right? And they had to lay everyone off. So everybody was leaving, doing this, trying to figure out something else. But the guy told me like during the last 3 days, right? Because they had to clean the hangar, they had to take the toolbox out, clean, make sure everything was okay. They asked a couple guys like, "Hey, do you guys want to stay and clean the hangar for us? We're gonna pay you." Um, but everyone was like, nah, fuck you guys. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go there, blah blah. But him and one other guy stayed behind. One other guy stayed behind. They helped the company to clean the hangar. They helped the company to do this and do that. But guess what? The same owner of that company that went bankrupt started a new company, which is the company now, and that's how they hired him as a maintenance director because of just him staying behind. And that's why I told you guys, man, reputation is a really, really important thing in the industry, man. Like reputation goes a long way. Guys, the opportunities I've gotten today in my life in this career were from people I knew, were from people I was really close friends with. You know what I mean? And that is because I try my best to keep my reputation. You know what I mean? So for you guys that are trying to get into the industry, you gotta understand reputation goes a long way. So the guy was telling us a story like, like because he just stayed behind for a couple of days to clear the anger. So the owner of that company started a new maintenance company, which was AAA. The name of the company now is called AAR. Started a new company and was looking for maintenance director for that company and someone to overlook the maintenance. And he called the guy. Was like, "Hey, are you interested in this position?" And that's how he got the job as a maintenance director. Like it's crazy when he told us that story. I'm like, man, that's when I started figuring out, like, yo, actually, man, reputation goes a long way, man. It goes a long way. Like, reputation would either open doors for you or close the door. I would argue reputation is better than experience. Yes, with your experience, you got to understand that you having experience, you can still be replaceable, regardless of your experience. But people will rather work with someone that they can get along with, rather than someone that have all the old experience. So that's where reputation goes a long way, man. For you guys that are joining, starting off your career as a maintenance person or as a maintenance engineer, as an apprentice, you got to understand, man. Keep that reputation. I'm trying my best to keep my reputation, the way it is right now. You know what I mean? So please remember, reputation goes a long way, man. Repetition can open doors for you and close doors, man. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you guys for always coming through, man. All right. For example, when at university, I studied how we can design the shape of compressor blade, and we have to draw the velocity triangle. It's very close. So yeah, engineering, like I said, this course in some countries is actually a degree program. Um, but surprisingly, in Canada and America, this is more of a diploma program. So we got one question. Are you required to get your pilot license as an AMP technician? No, you're not required to get the pilot license. But there are some certificates you have to get though. which is kind of pilot tools have to get to your radio license. um, Most companies will require you to have your radio license. The reason why is as an AMP technician or an aircraft mechanic or an aircraft maintenance engineer, you're going to find yourself in a lot of situations whereby you're going to be doing taxing of the aircraft. You're going to be and doing engine run, and you want to be able to communicate with the ground the ground people. You want to be able to communicate with the tower. So that's why a lot of these companies require you to get your radio license. But pilot license, no. But are there a lot of pilots that were aircraft maintenance engineers or aircraft mechanics before or A&P technicians? Yes. And guys, when I say aircraft mechanics, A&P technicians, it's all the same. Just different countries have different terminologies, different way they view this program, but we all do the same thing. We all do the same thing. We all families. So yeah, you don't need your pilot license to become an A&P technician. So yeah, theory of flight is great, but requires a strong foundation in math and aerodynamics, mostly aerodynamics. And that is something I didn't have. And that's why it was a little bit difficult for me when I was in school. Because all those terminologies were all new to me, man. Like it was really new to me. So that's why I struggled a little bit in school doing the um theory of flight. But math, I always loved math. Like I was always good at math. I was good at math since when I was in school. So calculations was never really a problem for me. Calculations was never really a problem for me. Yeah, so you don't need a pilot license to become an AME. Yeah, a lot of us don't have no parents, no family members, no cousins, no uncle, no auntie, none of them in aviation, you know? Like I had to figure everything out myself now. But once I'm ready and I have a kid or a daughter, I have a son or a daughter, and like I would want them to be an AME too, to be honest, or something in aviation because aviation is a really good field, man. I really love aviation. I'm so happy my dad made that right choice for me. You know, I'm so happy and I'm always grateful to that man, man. He made the right choice for me. So I love aviation. Like I love aviation, man. So we got one question. I appreciate your videos, man. I appreciate you, man. I'm off license right now, working on my power plants. Now, what advice do you have for someone coming out of school? Thanks again. So for someone coming out of school, do you have a so okay, let me just start with someone who's about to graduate. Um, Before you graduate, right? And this is one of the mistakes I made. And this is why I like when I get questions like this because I can talk from personal experience. And so you guys can learn from my mistake, right? Before you graduate from school, like I would say 3 months, 2 months time frame is the best time. You want to start applying for jobs. You want to start applying for jobs. Like 2 months before graduation, 3 months. Start applying for jobs. And when it comes to jobs, guys, do not limit yourself to one location. Man, and if I don't like saying this statement because the more we grow, we learn. But if I had to go back, I would have increased my options. I would have not limited my options to one city, and I would have gotten a job way more faster. I would have been licensed way more earlier, you know. But I'm grateful for where I am right now because we live and learn. And without me going through those mistakes, I would probably not have this YouTube channel right now, you know. So I'm glad I made those mistakes, but I'm glad I made that mistake so you guys don't make that mistakes, you know. So you don't want to limit your options to one province or one city or one state. You want to make sure you spread your options all the way, everywhere. So once you get that first job, usually once you get that first job, for most people, that first job is not the best job. And guys, please do not get too comfortable. When you're working, you want to prioritize your license. Guys, I have seen people making this mistake so much. Guys, people don't prioritize the license. And the reason why is, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. The reason why is whenever you're working, right, you neglect your license. Like you're so really into the job, and a lot of people neglect their license. It's after like 2 years they start freaking out. Like, man, oh, I gotta get my logbook signed. I gotta do this. And guys, I work with a lot of apprentices now. I tell them, please prioritize your license because you as an apprentice, you're not making that much. I was there when I started as an apprentice. I was making $16 an hour. And luckily, the next job I got, I was making $19 an hour. That in this economy, making $19 an hour, that is nothing. You can't live with $19 an hour. So, guys, if you have a job right now as an apprentice, please prioritize your license. Every task you do, you want to make sure you find it, look for it in the logbook. If it's in the logbook, make sure you get that stuff signed because the more you speed up your license process, the more opportunities you're gonna get. The more you're gonna get your license faster. You're not gonna wait for last minute. And I have seen people making this mistake every time, man. And lastly, guys, the first job you're gonna get as an apprentice is probably not the best one. And I'm just being honest with you guys. Like I tell you, guys, because I went through that same system. For my first apprentice job, I knew I was not gonna stay at that company for too long because the license I saw the license scale, the how much we were paying the license people there. I'm like, ain't no way I'm staying in this company as a licensed person. So I already had a plan B of, okay, once I get my license, I was gonna go somewhere else. You know what I mean? So the first job you get as an apprentice, for most people, a lot of people get so lucky and they get the big shot companies, and if you're one of those, then kudos to you. But a lot of us are not gonna get that first job, great pay. First job, big company. No, we all gotta start from somewhere. So once you start working for a company and you feel like you try to scale, okay, what is the max pay I can get with this company? If it does not match with what you believe you can make or with your goals in life, you want to start having a plan B of fishing for the next opportunity. Because think of it, man. Yes, you care about the companies, the company cares about you to a degree, but at the end of the day, you gotta look out for yourself. You got to look out for yourself. I work to people that when I started with the company, and this is like a long time ago, like 6 years ago, they were telling me literally the first week I started working with that company, man, they told me, yo, Peter, man, this company is not paying good, blah, blah. And I listened to the same story. Guess what? Those people have been working for that company for 6, 7 years and they're still there. Please don't be that person. Don't be that guy. At the end of the day, you got to look out for yourself. Yes, you like your job, you like the company you're working for, but if the pay is not up to what you believe you can make, look for the next option, look for the next opportunity, look for the next way you can grow. If the company is not ready to develop your skills, if they're not ready to take you to the next level, trust me, there are hundreds of companies out there that will help you to grow as a person, that will give you more type course. You want to fish out, you want to look for those experience, most those opportunities. You know what I mean? So do not limit yourself to one company. Do not limit yourself to one place. You know what I mean? Always try to look for the next thing. And that is why I'm here on YouTube too, because I feel like, okay, yes, I have acknowledged all this education, I've acknowledged all this experience, I've made all these mistakes, right? How can I create value to you guys? Create more value. And that's why I started this YouTube channel. You guys can start it too. We need more people to talk about aircraft maintenance. We need more exposure to this career path. It's something you can start also. So try to make yourself as valuable as possible. you know and in AME, to make yourself as valuable as possible, you want to have a lot of type courses. Imagine you having the 320 type course, you have the 37 type course, you have the 220 type course, you have the Q400 type course. Man, you can get a job anywhere. You can go to the state, you can go to America, you can leave, like you can get a job anywhere. It's all about value. It's all about what you can create, the value you can create. And if you're working for a company and they don't acknowledge your skills, they don't acknowledge your experience, they don't acknowledge your expertise, you want to start looking for the next best thing, man. And trust me, there are companies that will invest in you. There are companies that will pay for your expertise. There are companies that will appreciate you more. Do not be like those guys that will be in the company for 20 years and still complaining every single day. Don't be like those guys, man, because there's always the next best thing out there, you know? And this is coming from a experience, man. If I didn't have the mentality I have right now, I would not be working for this company I'm working for now. I'm so, so grateful every day I wake up and I go to this company. I'm grateful I made the right decision. Because if I didn't have that mentality, I would probably be stuck in that previous company that I had 5 years ago, complaining and still working there. You know what I mean? So please, guys, look out for yourself. Make sure you're working in a place that respect your expertise. You know your value. If the company is not trying to invest in you and make you a better person, a better mechanic, a better aircraft maintenance engineer, guys, you got to start looking for the next big thing, man. All right. There's always going to be something that will, there's always going to be a company that is ready to invest in you. Okay. So we got one question. Hi, thanks for your video. I got my diploma as an AME. I've gotten a job that I supposed to start June. Can you please tell me things to expect and what to do as a new apprentice? So as a new apprentice, whenever you get your first job or you start as an apprentice, um, and this is my experience for most companies, right? They don't usually allow you to work alone. And this is something I didn't know, and that's why I'm here to share with you guys so you guys can get like a little bit of insight of what's going on. They usually pair you up with a license. Sorry, they usually pair you up with a licensed person. So the licensed person is gonna be like more of a mentor for like let's say a month or two. So that way you can get used to the system. You can get used to how to use the AMM. You can get used to how to work, how to use your tools. So the person is going to be more of a mentor, right? And you want to take advantage of that because those are the people that you're going to be working with for as long as you're in that company, right? And you also want to have a good attitude with them because you want to be that type of person that is workable, they can work with. Because guess what? Whenever your supervisor is ready for your probation evaluation, it's going to ask the AME guy you're working with is going to talk to him like, hey, how was this guy's? Because they're not working with you. They don't see you, right? It's people that actually work with you that will talk about you, right? And guess what? The AME guy you're working with is the person is going to ask for like, hey, how was this guy you work with? How was his behavior? Was he good? Was he someone you can work with? How was his attitude? So you want to make sure you have a good reputation, you have good attitude, and attendance is a big one, man. Attendance. Please try to keep your attendance, especially when you're on probation. You're new to a company. You want to make sure your attendance is on point. Those are stuff they're going to be looking at when it comes to your probation evaluation. So your attendance is really important. The way you work with the person, and don't worry about if you don't know something. Please, guys, don't worry. Most guys will not care if you know nothing. We all have to start from somewhere, and this is something I love about the industry. And of course, there's always like some guys that they always have those bad attitude, but for the most part, most licensed people are always ready to help you out. As far you're ready, you're coachable. Most guys are always ready to help you out. So have a good attitude. And it's gonna help you out. But don't worry about if you don't know nothing. It's okay. It's okay. We all have to start from somewhere. And if you need someone to, if you have any questions, if you're going through a problem, if you need someone to talk to, I'm always here to help you guys out, man. I can direct you on what to do, how to, acknowledge the situation. I'm always here. That's why, like, I want to be like a mentor for you guys, man, because I have mentors that help me out. So the problem is a lot of those guys they're not really comfortable with the camera. Those guys are even way more better better mentors than I am. So yeah, if you're starting a new job, trust me, it's gonna be a hard new to you, but everything's gonna be okay. Like I said, attendance is a big one. You want to make sure your attendance is on point because for your probation evaluation, that is something they're gonna be looking at. Secondly, you're going to probably be working with licensed people, especially your first couple months. Make sure you ask questions. Make sure you have good attitude because when it comes to probation evaluation, they probably gonna 100% going to talk to those licensed people. How was his attitude? Was he someone to work with? Was he a good coworker. You know what I mean? And thirdly, when it comes to tools, guys, don't buy any fancy tool, man. You know, what I mean, start build your tools with experience. Buy what you need. I made that mistake. I was buying a bunch of tools before graduation. I went to Canadian Tires. I remember clearly my dad sent me money, like almost $800. I was just buying all type of tools, and I never used those tools. A lot of those tools got rusted. I didn't use them, you know. So guys, don't buy too many tools starting off a career. Buy the basic ones: screwdriver, wrenches, socket, ratchet, you know, plier, cutters, lock wire. That's all you need starting off. You're not gonna be changing engine the first day you start working. They're hardly going to put you there. You're probably gonna start with something really light, like panel remover, PRC, greasing. Those are the little stuff they're going to start you off with. And also, when it comes to that, guys, yes, you're going to notice starting off your career as an apprentice, they're going to start you off with little messy jobs. We all have to do that. Like you're going to be doing a lot of the messy jobs, like lubrication, PRC, panel remover. Guys, we all had to start from somewhere. I did a lot of those messy jobs. It's not because they don't like you, but it's all about they're testing your patience. They're trying to build your skills. They're trying to know who you are. They can't just give you. They're trying to create a trust. So imagine them giving you lubrication and you can't even do. You complain about lubrication. Why would they give you an engine change? So it's all about they're trying to build a trust, trying to build a relationship with you. They're trying to know your skills level and how to improve. Like, trust me, you're going to do a lot of those messy jobs. Take it what it is, man. It's just going to last for a little bit. Once you start working for the company for a really long time, and the more they can start building more trust in you, they can start feeling more comfortable. Trust me, they're going to start giving you better jobs. Okay. I had to do a lot of those messy jobs, and eventually, I remember the first really great job they gave me was to change an actuator with the license, guys. I've told you guys the story of one of the biggest mistakes I made. Was the actuator story. But yeah, eventually they're gonna start giving you a nice job. But starting off, you wanna know like they're going to give a lot of messy jobs. You're gonna do a lot of messy jobs, man. And it's okay. It's always gonna last for maybe like a month or two max. And trust me, after that, they're gonna start giving you a nice job. You know what I mean? But yeah, attendance, make sure you have good relationship with people. Don't cause trouble. Be patient, and always be ready to learn. And don't waste money on tools. All right, those are the advice I'll give someone that is starting off their career. Aircraft mechanics 3 years experience, paid 2,000 euros in France. Should I relocate? So $2,000, is it per month? Is it per month? 3 years experience. Do you first of all, my first question is it 3 years experience? I believe you have your license, your ESA license, right? Because I know it's gonna be easy for you because you already have a license in France. You can always convert your license to the Canadian one. But if you're making 2,000, is it $2,000 a month or 2,000 bi-weekly? And another question I'm gonna ask is how is the cost of living in the city you are? Is it expensive? Is $2,000, does it cover your expenses? Like, because euros is more than dollars, right? 2,000 euros is like almost. Let me do the conversion right now. Euros to Canadian dollars. So $2,000, 2,000 euros is about 3,000 or $120, right? That's a little bit low for if you're licensed. If you're not licensed, and that's pretty, I'll say that's pretty average for a non-licensed person. But if you're licensed, then I would say that's a little bit low. But you also got to look at some factors too, right? How is the cost of living where you are? Like that 2,000 euros can cover your bills because if you're thinking of relocating, those are the things you got to look at, right? Okay, if you're relocating to a new place, how is the cost of living of the new place and how is their average salary too, right? In Canada, the average salary for a licensed person, I would say is about a month after taxes. And this is after taxes, guys. The gross you can make, I think, like $7,000. But because of how the Canadian system is, we pay a lot of taxes, especially for Quebec, man. I pay crazy tax, man. Like the amount of tax I pay, man, is crazy. You know. But the average salary for a licensed person after tax, after all the taxes, is about maybe $4,000, $5,000 per month, and that's like the average. Some people make 6,000, 7,000. I know contractors that make crazy money, 16,000 a month. Like I know people that make $16,000 a month. I remember during COVID when I got laid off from my first job. Then I got this contracting for 3 months. They were paying me $65 an hour. This is contracting though. This is not full time. That time they were paying me $65 an hour. They paid for my hotel. They paid for my car. They also paid me $100 per diem. And I was working 6 days a week, 12 hours shift. I made a lot of money that time. But you know, if you want something more stable, if you have family, I believe full time is better. But as a contractor, you can make crazy money, really crazy. For me right now is like I feel like now I want to build more type courses, get more type courses. Those are my priorities right now, and that's why I'm not really dabble into the contracting route. I want to have more type courses. But yeah, as a contractor, man, you can make crazy money, crazy money. I have 4 years experience as a avionics technician. How can I get ESS certificate? You have 4 years as an avionics technician. Did you go to school for avionics to study aircraft maintenance? Do you go to school or you just have experience? Because I know the ESA process too. Once you got to go to school for 4 years, and once you have your 4 years experience, you can write your license exam, right? I think that's the ESA process. But in Canada, if you have a 4 years experience in Canada, you're eligible for for your exam. You can get your license, sir. You can get your license after working for 4 years. It all depends on where you are. Where are you located, right? See, flip flop, core processor module, impedancy, Ohm's law, solid state device, multiplexing, duplexing. Man, those are the. I did a lot of those stuff in solid state. In solid state, I did a lot of those stuff in solid state. I didn't like none of them. I was never good in electrical, man. Can I work as an unlicensed technician for some companies to get my B2 license? Yes, you can. If you are like most, all of us had to start as an unlicensed technician, right? We all had to. No one starts as a licensed technician. We all had to start as a unlicensed technician, and you have to work as an apprentice for. You have to look at the regulation of the country you are. The B2 license, I'm not quite sure how the whole process with. The thing is, I never did my B2 license. I don't have the B2 license. I'm more experienced with the AME license. I know a little bit of the B2, B1 license, but I'm more experienced. So for M1, M2 license, you work as an apprentice for 2 years, 6 months, and after your 2 years, 6 months, you are qualified to write your AME license. Your AME license. So I believe it's the same way for the ESR process. I believe it's the same way. So you have to work as an apprentice for a couple years. Then after you can write your B2, B1 license. So where do you work as a B2 technician? Any approved organization, any AMO, approved maintenance organization. It's the same for Canada. In order to get your license, you have to work for an approved organization that is approved to do aircraft maintenance. So it does not matter if it's airline, if it's a shop as far as they are approved under the policy, the regulation, then you can work there as a technician. So we got one question. If I'm from Nigeria, which country can I apply for to study aircraft maintenance engineering and able to join the US military or the US Army? So I think you already answered your question. If your goal is to join the US military or the US Army, then I definitely think you should go to America, right? Because, for example, if you study aircraft maintenance engineering in Canada, you cannot join the US military. You have to. So, if your goal is to join the US military or the US Army, then study in America. There's a lot of schools in America, and surprisingly, the American process is actually faster. To get your AMP technician, the AMP license certification, you just got to go to school for, I believe, 18 months. And right after graduation, you can write your AMP license. You don't need to do the apprenticeship like how we do in Canada. You don't have to do the apprenticeship. You just got to finish school, you can write your license exam. So if your goal is to join the US military or the army, then definitely you got to study in America, right? And I believe the qualification to join the military in America is you have to have your green card, the American green card, to join the military. You don't have to be a citizen. Even Canada has the same. I believe they have the same policy. You can become a PR, a permanent resident in Canada, and also join the military. So yeah, if your goal is to join the military in America, definitely you got to study in America, 100%. Can I be an aircraft maintenance engineer in the U.S. Army? Yes, you can. There's a lot of opportunity in the U.S. Army, man, and there's a lot of like the benefit. Honestly, that was my first choice. I was going to join the military in Canada, but I don't know, man. I just want that civilization freedom, civilian freedom. I didn't want the military. That was my first choice to join the military, but I just feel I feel had a love for the military. But there's a lot of what is it called, benefits joining on the military, the pension plan, the pay, the vacation, 100%. What is the best aircraft for license type rating? This is a good question. From what I have seen, and my answer might be different from somebody else, but from what I have seen, the and when it comes to contracting in and also job opportunity, I gotta go for the 737s, man. And trust me, I'm not a big fan of Boeing, but I feel like everyone has the 37s, 737s. It's the top. Like there's so much job opportunities for the 737s. Then after I can say the Q400 is a good one. Then after the 320s, 321s, 319s, it's a pretty good one to have. And I'm talking about Canadians and the Canada. I'm not talking about the whole world, but like I believe every country has a 37s. The 37s is a really good aircraft. And trust me, like literally everyone has. So 37s for me is still the top. It's still the top aircraft, man. In terms of opportunity wise, globally, the 37s, 737s, 100%. The Q400s are a really nice one too to have. The 320s are a pretty good one too. But the 37s still the top one. Top. Yeah, the three. I mean, the thing is, okay, yes, the 380, right? But yes, the 380 you can make good money, but you're limited, right? You're limited. Not every company is like in Canada. We don't. There's no aircraft there's no airline that has a 380. In America, I don't think they have a 380 too. Does any? Let me see. Does any? airlines that has A380 in America. 380s. Let's see. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen with you guys, right? So you guys can see this. So when getting a type words, this is stuff you want to keep in mind too, right? You want to, I mean, it depends on what you're looking at. Uh, so I just search airlines that have three of these, right? So we have Emirates, we have Lufthansa, we have British Airlines, we have Singapore's, um, we have Qatar, we have Ashana, we have Olympus Airline, we have like you are limited, like you know, what I mean, those are the early airlines that have what is it called 380. You know what I mean? But if I search 737, man, I'm this is just America. This is just a let me just search the whole word. Let me see. Let's see. Airlines. Guys, my spelling, my English is not good at all. That has 737 in the word. Let's see. Like, look at all the options here. And I'm pretty sure this is not with everything. I'm pretty sure there's more. Let's look at we. Look at this. Look at this. Like, look at this. Like, look at the options you have here. You know, like three sevens for me is you can't beat that. Look at all the options. All the airlines that have the three sevens. Look at it. Non-stop. 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 Like in terms of global opportunity, I would say the three sevens is the best to have, you know. But if you're looking for something, you know, more recently, more technology, then maybe the 380 uh might have. Yeah, they has people. Yeah, so like I said, for probation, they usually ask people that you work with, you know. So you want to make sure you have good reputation, guys. Yeah, like I said, man, the Canadian tires, man, bro, trust me, Canadian tires is really good, man. They have a lot of good tools. It's inexpensive, and guys, Facebook Market is a good one too. There's a lot of used tools on what is it called on Facebook Market. You don't have to break the bank trying to get $2,000, $3,000 tools. No, you don't have to do that. Starting off, you want to build your experience. You want to buy your tools with experience. You know. So yeah, you were talking about $2,000 euros a month. I would say that's really low for especially for a licensed person. You know, in France. Um, but I don't know how the cost of living is in France though. I'm not sure how. Let me see the. Let's check it together, guys. Let's check it together. The average cost of living in France. Oh wow! So when I checked online, let me show you guys. Let me share my screen. So it says the average cost of living in France right now is about, and I don't know how recent this is though. Let me see. In 2025, 2025. For a single person, you might need around $900 per month, excluding rent. Okay. So yeah, that's really low. $2,000 a month is, yeah, that's too low. Too low. I'm pretty sure you trust me. There's a lot of options. Especially you have your B1 B2 license, man. You have more options than I do because you can go to any country, guys. If you have your B1 2 license, why don't you try going to Africa? There's a lot of countries in Africa that will pay you crazy money with your B1, B2 license. They will pay you crazy money. Like I know people. There's a buddy of mine I'm working with right now. He has his B1, B2 license. He worked in my country, Nigeria. He was making $10,000 euros a month. $10,000, sorry, 10,000 US dollars a month. And this is excluding rent because they got him on hotel, they got a transportation, and for his vacation, they pay it's a paid vacation for 1 year per year, sorry. So they pay for his flight ticket to go and see his family. Guys, you have your B1, B2 days, you are not limited to one country. So if you feel like France is not paying that much, trust me, man. If I had my B1, B2 license, I'll be going everywhere. Shit, I'll be going to France. I'll be going to Germany. I'll be going everywhere. You know what I mean? But for me, it's like for guys that have the Canadian license, we are kind of limited to Canada. You know what I mean? So if you're making $2,000, I feel like that's really small. To be honest, that's really low, especially for a licensed person. That's really really low. Trust me, man. There's a lot of companies that will pay you times three of that. Times three. So guys, do not limit yourself to a really small to a company that is not ready to pay you more, man. Do not limit yourself. So I mean, as a military avionics technician, I cannot get my ESL license. So for someone that is in the military, um, and that's the thing though, because every country has their own regulations, right? And I don't want to give you guys a misinformation of something I'm not sure of. I can only speak for Canada, right? I can't really speak for ESL countries with the ESL license because I don't really know that much of the regulation. But in Canada, you cannot get your license within the military though. You cannot get your license with the military. That's the only bad side of joining the military. You cannot get your license. You have to leave the military in order to get your license. You have to work on a commercial airline to get your license. But the thing is, I don't know how it is in the ESA. I mean, we can do the Google together. Let me see. Can I get my ESA license in the military? Well, Google said you can get your ESA license in the military. So I guess it's possible. I'm just gonna share my screen right now. So I just Google right now. It says yes, it's possible to obtain an ESA license in the military. Why some requires a full set of modules, the military experience can be used to shorten the process in some cases. Specific requirements and procedures can vary depending on the individual experience and the specific ESA license. So even the ESA, there's a lot of requirements to get the ESA license in the military, and that's something about the military, right? It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky. So it says requirements. Applicants with military experience may need to pass some of the basic type modules and provide documentation of the experience acquired in part 15 in part 145 approved military facility. So you might have to look into this, the type of modules they're talking about for ESL license. But I know for sure in Canada you cannot get your working in the military in Canada, you cannot get your AME license. Can I hold both American license and Canadian license simultaneously so you can work on both places? Yes, you can. You having an AMP license and AME license, man, you a big shot. I'm gonna give you guys a story. I love giving stories. I love giving stories because and this is something about working with people and also building experience, right? There's a buddy of mine I worked with, right? This is not me though. This is somebody else. He worked for a company that they do a lot of repairs on American airline, right? But he already got his Canadian license, right? So the company and one of the requirements in order to get your, if you have your Canadian license, right, and you want to get your FAA license, right? Um, the reason why I know this because I'm actually looking into this. I'm looking into getting my FAA license also in the future, right? So it told me like before you can get your, like I said, before you can get your FAA license, right, and if you have a Canadian license, you need a job offer from an American operated company. So you need to work on a you need a job letter, a job offer from a company that has an American registered aircraft, right? So the company was working for, they were doing maintenance repair for a contracting company doing a maintenance repair for an American registered airline, and they needed, instead of them hiring an FAA license every time, they needed someone that had the FAA license based in Canada, right? So they gave them they sent him to school. Sorry, they sent him on a training, like a week training, a preparation for the examination for his AMP license. He passed the exam, so he got his FAA license. He worked with the company for like 2 years, and then he quit. He quit the company. And he told me this story. He told me this. So he started working for a new company, was an airline company. And when he was working for the company, one day he had a conversation with one of the manager from a different company, right? And they were telling him like, oh, sometimes they was talking about, oh, sometimes we have an American airline company, American airline aircraft here, but we need someone to just sign the maintenance release, make sure the tax is done properly. The guy was like, hey, I have my American license, like I can do it, right? And that's, guess what? That's how he got the contracting job with that company. And this guy was making per signature. He told me was getting paid, and this is per day. It was per signature a day. It was getting paid $680, $680 per day. So every time he signs a maintenance release, like, of course, he has to make sure everything is done properly, right? It's not just signing document. He has to make sure the maintenance is done, get involved with the maintenance. But he was doing it on his days off, right? He was not doing it on his day. He was working, was doing it on his days off. So whenever he work his full-time job, on his 5 days off, he goes to that company. And he was telling me they were paying him $680 cash whenever he signs the material release. No, so those are the opportunities you can get once you have the dual license. You know what I mean? And opportunities are always, my dad used to tell me this thing, like opportunities are always provided to people that are always ready for it. So if you have in your AME, your American license and Canadian license, man, that's like golden. And I'm looking into getting my FAA license too, man. I'm looking into getting that FAA license. Um, and I feel like it's gonna open a lot of more doors. You know, yeah, you can get experience from the military, but the problem is I'm not sure how the ESL system works. Like I don't want to give you a misinformation of something I'm not really sure of. I know a little bit, but I don't know everything. So I don't want to give you a misinformation. If you want, you can text me on Instagram. Um, And before you text me, I would have tried to do my research and see if I can find the answer for you, right? Yes, I know you have experience from the military, but the ESL route, does your experience count towards the ESL license? That is something I'm not really sure of, you know? And I don't want to tell you yes and the answer is no. And I don't want to tell you no and the answer is yes. I'm not really sure of the ESL license. I didn't go through the ESL route, so I'm not really sure, man. I'm really sorry I can't answer your questions. I feel bad, but I don't want to give you a misinformation of something I'm not sure of. So if you have, yes, if you have your ESA B license, you can work in Africa. Yes, you can. You can. You can a lot actually, because most African countries use they have the B1 B2 license. If you Google right now, AME, what is the AME license? AME license in most African countries. And guys, I like to do these lives so we can see. Like I'm not bullshitting it. You know what I mean? Like I will share my screen right now. B1, B2 jobs in Africa. Let's do it together, guys. Let's look for this job together. Let's see. Let's do it together. So now, let's say I have my B1, B2, right? I'm trying to get a job in one of those no, in an Africa. Let's see, B1, B2. So they got jobs in United Arab Emirates. Let's see, but I'm looking for okay. I'm gonna use my country for example, right? Nigeria, B1, B2 jobs in Nigeria. Guys, my stuff is not looking. My keyboard is not good, so that's why. So let's see. So we got one, but these are tech support. Okay, what should I? AME jobs in Nigeria. So let's see. This is LinkedIn. Why is it taking me to LinkedIn? Okay. Urgent AME job in Nigeria. Okay, let's see this. 27 days ago, this is Lagos, Nigeria. Let's see the license they're looking for. Oh, come on, man. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. 5 year experience as a manager. 5 years experience as a qualified AME. But I want to see, hey, guys. You see, I'm not lying. You see why I'm not lying? I'm so glad they put the pay here, guys. You can't limit yourself to one place. Look at this. Look at this. You can make $7,000 to $8,000 a month, monthly. This is American dollars, guys. This is American dollars. And guess what? You just need what? 5 years experience, minimum 5 years experience. 5 years experience, guys. And if you're in France right now and they're paying you $2,000, guys, you can look into this. They are looking for licensed people in a lot of African countries. And this is a job I just saw right now in Lagos, Nigeria, 27 days ago. Like literally, it says minimum 5 years experience, qualified aircraft maintenance engineer. That means you need your license, right? Relevant AME licensing. So I believe for me, I'm pretty sure it's B1, B2 because I had a friend that worked there, you know. But look at how much you can make though. And this, guess what? This is not tax. Like if you work in an African country, most I'll use Nigeria for example. Like most of the time, you don't pay that much taxes on this. You know, you know what I mean. You can make $7,000 to $8,000. So do not limit yourself to one company that will be paying you shitty. There's a lot of opportunities, man. Let's look for a different one. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let's go back. Okay, let's see. Five maintenance jobs in Nigeria. Let's see. It's looking for maintenance manager. No, we're not looking for mentor. We're looking for license. I want to see because I'm 1 million% sure I saw these. Like I don't know why it's not taking me to Indeed though. Indeed. Let's see. Maintenance job. Okay, we got one maintenance engineer. Let's see what the qualification is. Okay. Well, they're not talking about the license, but I'm 1 million% sure. Like I'm 100% sure you can use your B1 B2 license in a lot of these African countries. Well, guys, I'm telling you, they paying pretty good, man. They are paying really good back home. Like they are paying really, really good back home. Really, really good back home, man. So do not limit yourself to one company who is not ready to, pay you for your expertise. I don't know if I'm just okay. I think because I didn't spell this right. But anyways, but yeah, I'm like there's a lot of jobs globally, man. Especially for people that have the B1 B2. Like it's global opportunities, man. Global. Let's see, licensed aircraft. Okay, so they are looking for this company is looking for avionics and M license. Um, blah blah blah. Okay, so these are the type courses they're looking for. But anyways, I guess right now I'm pretty sure there is there are jobs for B1, mostly B1 B2. Like I'm 100% sure of that. I'm 100% sure of that. So guys, man, do not limit yourself to one region. There's global opportunities, and that's the good thing about AME. There's global opportunities, man. There's global opportunities. So do not limit yourself to one place. So we get one question. If I study in the United States of America as an aircraft maintenance engineer, I am going to come out with diploma certificate in 2 years and get my license, and I can join the military or the U.S. Army immediately. So you getting your license does not give you the privilege to join the military, right? You still have to meet the minimum requirements. I don't know what the minute. I believe the minimum requirement is for the military in America is you need your at least your green card. You need a green card. Like it does not matter. It does not matter your qualification. If you don't have your green card, I believe you cannot join the military. So you need at least your green card to join the military. But can you get a job with your license? Yes, if you have the work permits to work in America, right? So if you have your work permit, you can work as a licensed person. But to join the military, I'm pretty sure you need your green card to join the military in America. Says, can I join the military or a U.S. Army immediately I finish college or get my degree in diploma in aircraft maintenance engineering? Like how many years course? And so, okay, I'm gonna break it down for you, right? So, if your goal is to join the military, right? You There are two ways you can go about it, right? You before you join the military, you have to get your green card first because that is the minimum requirement. Like you need your green card, just like in Canada. For you to join the military in Canada, it does not matter your qualification. You can be a doctor, you can be an engineer. If you don't have your permanent residence, before it was just citizens, only citizens can join the military, right? But now because of the demand for the military, they kind of reduce it down to permanent residence. So in America, it's the same way. You need your green card to join the military, regardless of your education, regardless of your qualification, regardless of your license, right? So if your goal is to join the military, yes, go to school, get the education. Then once you get your work permits, then after like I don't know how many years you have to wait for before you can apply for your green card. Um, then you apply for your green card. Once you get your green card, you can join the military. But without your green card, I believe you cannot join the military. Because if you go right now, let's search. Let's search. What is the minimum requirement to join the U.S. military? For a green card. So let me show it to you guys, right? So the minimum requirement to join the military, you need your green card to join the US military. Why is it not letting me share my screen? Man, this streaming service sometimes they be pissing me off sometimes, man. But anyways, I can't share my screen. I don't know why. But yeah, the minimum requirements to join the U.S. Army is you need your green card. But you can go through the school route to get your education. Then you have your license, you get a job, but also you gotta keep in mind that you wanna get your green card. And once you get your green card, then you can apply to the military in America. So are you from Nigeria? I'm from Nigeria. I went to travel to study abroad and join the military. I love it. So yeah, I'm from Nigerian too, man. But I'm not in America though. I'm not in America. America is a good place. There's a lot of opportunities there. Is it possible for you to convert from M to E? So you cannot convert from M to E, right? I mean, you cannot convert your license from M to E, but you can convert from M to E. So, and what do I mean by that, right? Once you have your M license, you have your M license, but you can also get your E license, right? So it's possible. You can get your M license, you can also get your M license, right? And by doing that, actually, most companies they like that because they make you work more, right? So to do that, once you have your M license, I usually tell people to get your M license first. Then after you get your E license because it's way more easier that way. And also, if you have your M1, M2 license, automatically you get your E license. So if you have your M1, M2, automatically you get your E license, right? But if you're trying to get your E license, I always tell people to go from getting your M license to get your E license. And to get your E license, you don't have to go back to school. You just gotta work as an E license person. Your logbook, you fill out the electrical part of it. After like a year, you submit to the Transport Canada. They do the evaluation, they check your logbook, and if everything is okay, they give you your E license. So you don't have to do the cars over again. You don't have to do no, you don't have to do that again. So for me, I always tell people to get your M license first, then get your E license. And if you get your M1, M2, automatically you get your E license. So we got one question, guys. I think I'm gonna go very soon. This is the last question for today. Say, hey Peter, what about entrepreneurship in aircraft maintenance? Any idea? Yes, man. See, when it comes to entrepreneurship, man, there's a lot. Like I told you guys, being a contractor is also being self-employed, being an entrepreneur. You know, and there's a lot of opportunities, man. There's a lot, a lot, and they pay pretty good too. You can make crazy money. You know what? Let's check it. Let's check. I like to show you guys. Let's check it together. Contract jobs for AME in Canada. Let's see if we can find some contracting jobs. So okay, how do I? Why is it not letting me share my screen? Okay, okay, now it's working. Can you guys see my screen right now? Okay. So I just searched for contracting jobs in Canada. Let's see. Let's see if we can find. So we see 25. Oh, this is recently. Too. Says AME, AME. Oh, this is for helicopters. Permanent position. The pay is 73 to 120 per year. Okay, I think I know this company. This is just for. This is like a. You see, guys. See nowadays there's an overseas. So it says aircraft maintenance engineer, line maintenance. I know this company. They do a lot of overseas job too. So I believe this is Africa. This is Kenya. Let me see if I can. That's the thing. I don't know if it's gonna take me to the right position. Let's see what the blah with the development in Norway. So this company is going to send you overseas. I want to see what location they're sending you to. Okay, so 1 year experience, valid AME license, Canadian diploma, candidate with dash 8, okay, CRG experience, okay. You must be legally able to work in Canada companies. Nah. Okay, so it says you will be required to work on site with overseas experience rotation. So guys, you see this, if you're that type of person that love traveling, this is the opportunity being an AME can create to you, Like I'm trying to see if I can find an actual contracting. Let's see. But I know that company, they're pretty good company too. Pre-flight inspector. This is a definitely an AME job. This is an AME job. Pre-flight. This is another opportunity. So if you want to become a pre-flight inspector as an AME, you can get that too. I know this company too. This is a pretty good company too. I worked for them once. Uh, they're not showing how much they're paying. That's the problem with these guys. They don't be showing how much they're paying. So okay, we see aircraft maintenance engineer, temporary contract. Let's see. So July 83. So they're looking for Airbus, people that have ACA for Airbus 340, A340, blah blah blah. Let's see if they're gonna talk about the payday. But that's the thing, they're not mentioning the pay though. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of, and these are recent jobs, guys. This is like what? How many days ago? When was this? Like these are all recently to show, like you guys see, I'm not bullshitting. Right? Okay, so we have one right here. They actually say the pay. So they say the pay is 52, 59 per hour. I would say as a contractor, it's still a little bit low, to be honest. It says compensation $55 per hour for ACA. So if you have the type course for that aircraft, you get $59 an hour. If you don't have the type course and you just have your license, you have 53 plus applicable ties. And per day, they pay you $63 per diem. This is okay. Like I have seen better um pay than this, you know. But if we do the math, let's say you work as a let's see if I can find a. Let's do the math, guys. Where's my calculator? So you do 59. You're getting $59 per hour, right? And where is my calculator? Okay, let's do the math. Let's do the math together, guys. So let's say you're getting paid $59 an hour, right? Let's say minimum you do, which I don't think is gonna happen. You do 40 hours a week, right? So in a week, as a contractor, you're making almost 2,000. You're making $2,000. You're making $2,300 per day per week, right? And per diem, you're making $65 per day. So 65 times seven. Sorry, 65 times. I think is 65 times five. Sorry, 65 times five. That's $300. $300 plus 2,300. So in a week you're making $2,000, $600, and this is just the minimum, 40 hours a week. And let's do that, 2,600 times four a month. So in a month you're making $10,000, and this is the minimum, $10,000, guys, $10,000 a month, and this is just the minimum. Like as a contractor, you're gonna be working like 60 hours. Like when I was doing contracting, I was working like 60 hours a week. I know guys that were doing 72 hours. Like let's do 60 hours. So 50 $59 per hour times 60 hours, right? A week. Let me see if you guys are seeing this, right? Can you guys see this? In a week, you're making $3,500 a week, like a week, times four. Guys, I'm not even bullshitting, man. Like we're doing the math right here on live. You're making 14,000 a month as a contractor. So that's why I say like whenever I say this stuff, like I'm not actually bullshitting. And if you look at this, right? Look at this. Additional details. Full coverage of traveling, accommodation, and car rentals. Guys, those are the opportunities AME can, like this is life, bro. This is life, guys. Like this is life. I'm showing you guys the opportunities you can get as an AME, right? As a AME, the contract is it's a flexible contract. That means you can do it for 6 months and take a break for after 6 months. But the contract length is 12 months. Usually they always extend this contract. Like for the most part, they always extend it, you know. 10 hours night. Okay, so they said 10 hours night shift, right? You know, like guys, like these are the opportunities you can get as an AME. I'm telling you, like this, even this 10 hours, this is like the minimum. Most of the times you're gonna be doing even more hours. Like at least most of the time you're gonna be doing more hours, more overtime. You know what I mean? But guys, like those are the opportunities you can get as an AME, you know. Those are the opportunities you can get as an AME. Like we did it on live. Like I showed you guys live how much. Like I just googled online contracts, and this is recently too. Like when was this? This was posted. When was this posted? It's not showing me the dates though. That's something I don't like about Indeed. They don't be showing you the dates. But anyways, like those are the opportunities you can get as a AME. It creates that entrepreneurship opportunities. Like I know guys making that already. Right now they're doing full-time contracting. I can do the same thing, but for me, I feel like I'm not in that stage of my life right now. I want to build more experience. I want to build more. I want to get more type courses, more qualifications. And once you have those stuff, man, then now you're a big shot. You can negotiate your salary. You can ask for more. So yeah, I think that's it. That's it for tonight, man. I appreciate you guys for coming out there. Like I said, you guys, um, what's it called? If you guys have any questions regarding aircraft maintenance engineering, I'm always here to help you guys out. Like that's my goal here. I do offer free consultation. All you gotta do is just text me on Instagram. And guys, please, I created these new YouTube sorry, I said YouTube. This new Instagram page, this is gonna be focused more for aircraft maintenance. Because my personal page is like my personal page. You guys know I post a lot of bullshit in there. But anyways, so I created a whole page specifically for aircraft maintenance. Please, you guys feel free to follow. You guys have any questions regarding aircraft maintenance engineering? I'm always here to answer you guys. This is my goal here, and I appreciate you guys for always coming out, man. This means a lot to me, and yeah. And I will catch you guys in the next live, which is next week Friday. I'll be back next week Friday and Saturday. I finished my exams now. I don't have any exams, so I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm going to be doing this live. All right. I appreciate you guys. And please do not forget to check out my YouTube channel for you guys that are trying to become an aircraft maintenance engineer. All right. Take it easy, and I will see you guys next week. All right. Bye.